6:38, Nashville's morning news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to you, friends. Dan Mattis here, along with Johnny B, Ken Weaver as well, and you. Thank you for listening. Hunter Biden in the news. You know, tomorrow's the big day where he is supposed to appear for a deposition behind closed doors. James Comer and a lot of other folks out there saying that he will be held in contempt if he does not show up. Now, there's a lot going on because, you know, there's these new charges. A new indictment was thrown down. I think that was a few days ago, right? I was off in California, really wasn't paying attention. There's a lot of folks that are saying now, including, by the way, yours truly, this does come at a very convenient time, this indictment with 9 new charges, because now, frankly, Hunter can show up and just say, well, I can't really talk about this because of the investigation. I'm going to plead the fifth and so forth. I want to play some audio for you because this is, you know, a lot of folks, including Byron Donalds. I've got some audio from him coming up saying that this is nothing but a cover-up. What's interesting is Abby Lowell, who is a high-powered Washington, D.C. attorney, is Hunter Biden's attorney. Now, he's all up in arms because he feels like, well, this whole thing is a ruse. So Abby Lowell is out there, you know, up in arms and really angry because of these new indictments when everyone seems to understand and know that this is a part of the cover-up, where you have now the David Weiss, the guy who brought the indictment, the new charges. He clearly, at least in my opinion, is working with the Biden camp to bring these charges so that Hunter does not have to testify under oath. But that doesn't stop Abby Lowell going on to MSNBC, Hunter's attorney, and saying, oh, this is all just a vast right-wing conspiracy. And, you know, when we start talking about that and we start talking about what Abby Lowell says is a vast right-wing conspiracy, the reality is that this is just the Republicans doing their job.
That is because his last name is Biden? This is what
well,
we
yes
are
and
talking
no,
about?
Jennifer, yes and no. I mean, it's because his last name is Biden, but it's not like they're going after, you know, some distant cousin. It's because he is the son of the president who's named Biden. The Republicans and anybody else that's been investigating on the right-wing media, for example, have tried and tried to say that President Biden has done something wrong. They can't find a shred of evidence because he hasn't.
You know, it's so funny when they say a couple of things. First of all, Lowell says it's because of Hunter's last name. That's why Republicans are going after Hunter Biden. Well, it's because of that last name that Hunter was able to be protected from the DOJ and these prosecutors and the Secret Service and so forth. That is why Hunter Biden, again, last name Biden, that is why he has been able to do everything that he has, is because of that last name. It's also because of that last name that Hunter was able to gain influence and millions of dollars to peddle that Biden name across the world. That's how he was able to get those millions of dollars, is by peddling that Biden influence. So I love how Abby Lowell is saying, well, it's because of that last name. That's the only reason Republicans are going after Hunter Biden. It's like, well, it is because of that last name that Hunter finds himself in all kinds of trouble because of all of that influence that he was peddling. We could talk about the taxes and all the other stuff too. He also Abby Lowell talks about how this is just the Republicans going after Hunter on Fox News and Newsmax and talk radio.
And what they've successfully done, because they go out on the airwaves and people don't understand the difference between truth and misinformation, is basically saying, okay, I can't get the president, so I'll besmirch his son in a way to suggest that there's something going on between the two of them. That's why it is because his last name is Biden, because of his proximity to his dad, who has been a supportive father to his son through all the best and worst parts of Hunter's life.
So I love how, you know, he says, well, this is just another, basically saying, this is just another vast right-wing conspiracy. You know, I would ask, you know, in the previous soundbite, Lowell was saying, there's not a shred of evidence. What about Tony Bobulinski? What about the 2 IRS whistleblowers who came out and have said that Hunter is being protected by the DOJ? What about the FBI whistleblower that was saying that the IRS whistleblowers were absolutely correct in what they were saying about this cocoon of protection around Hunter Biden. And by the way, here's the other thing. What about all the materials that were found on Hunter Biden's laptop? So when Abby Lowell, Hunter's attorney, is saying there's not a shred of evidence, where does he get that? There's a lot of evidence, and the American people know that, which is why you see in the polling that, I mean, it's all out there. Whether it's Chuck Grassley talking about the recordings that are out there, or a lot of the emails that show that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden held meetings with Hunter's business associates. We all know that Biden lied about meeting with those associates. I mean, it goes on and on.
Well, Hunter, like millions and millions of Americans, or those that have been, he has accountability. He has extraordinary accountability. I mean, first of all, he nearly died. Think about all the book says as to what he was through when he was misbehaving. And he's the first to say, this was me, Hunter Biden, squandering the opportunities I had in life. That's enormous accountability. Are you asking whether he should have accountability for the mistakes he made while he was addicted? Sure, he should.
But did he file a false return? Did he evade taxes?
When Mr. Biden goes into court,
it's a yes or no.
It's not a yes or no, because...
Of course it's a yes or no. Remember what didn't we talk about yesterday, where he wrote off his membership to a sex club as a business expense or something like that, if I remember right? I mean, it is clear, at least to me and other people who are more expert in tax issues than I am, that Hunter Biden lied on his taxes and wrote things off that he should never have been able to write off. And he did it arrogantly because he thought that he would never be held accountable. So I love that, Hunter's attorney is getting all, I don't know, sanctimonious about, Hunter Biden and how the American people are just too dumb to be able to understand what it is that Hunter has done. But here's the thing. The American people are watching this, and they've seen what Hunter is accused of. And by and large, the people, not only do they believe that Hunter did things that were wrong, but they also believe that Joe Biden had something to do with it.
You want to drill? No, of course it's not. In order to file a false return that's actionable, the following things, depending on the statute, has to occur. It has to be willful. It has to be deliberate. It has to be knowing. It has to be in a year in which there's a tax deficiency.
There you go. So Byron Donalds was asked about the comments I just played for you regarding Abby Lowell and what Lowell said about how, well, the only reason the Republicans are going after Hunter Biden is because of his last name. This is Byron Donalds on with Maria Bartiromo.
His attorney, Abby Lowell, says that, the only reason why he got indicted is because his last name is Biden. No, Abby, the only reason that it took so long for him to be indicted is because his last name is Biden and because House Republicans uncovered this web of corruption surrounding Joe Biden that implicates Hunter Biden and James Biden. And so that is the reason why it's taken so long for this to occur.
And also remember, and I brought this up many, many, many times, is that Republicans have been asking questions about Hunter and his tax returns and all of these other things and Hunter's laptop and so forth. And Republicans have been asking questions about this for a long time, but it was only when they were able to get back the majority in the House of Representatives that they were able to get the information that they wanted. And so whenever you hear people on the left say, well, all these years they've been accusing Hunter and they haven't found a shred of evidence, which is what Abby Lowell says. Number one, they have found far more than a shred of evidence. That's number one. And number two, again, the DOJ and a lot of these folks have been protecting the Bidens at every turn. Now, the other question is from Maria Bartiromo, will the Republicans in the House, does James Comer and Jim Jordan and the rest of these folks, do they have the votes to move forward with an impeachment inquiry? This is part of what he had to say.
I believe that we do. Look, the Oversight Committee, the Judiciary Committee, and the Ways and Means Committee, we've been working really diligently going through this entire situation, uncovering the facts. So some of our colleagues who were leery earlier on in this Congress about moving towards impeachment, now the facts are very clear about why we need to finish our investigation. The impeachment inquiry vote will allow us to do that. By the way, Maria, there's a White House official and 3 Department of Justice officials who are ignoring congressional subpoenas. We fully believe that a vote on the floor this week will give us the ability to fully enforce those subpoenas.
Yeah. Now, one of the big questions is if he does not show up for questioning, what happens? Because remember, a few minutes ago, I just told you that he has been saying all along, no, I don't want to come in. I don't want to come in and testify behind closed doors under oath. He wants an open hearing in front of everyone. And I will tell you the reason he wants to do that is because he wants to be protected by the Democrats.
He thinks nothing can touch him because his daddy's been protecting him for years right now. What we understand right now, Maria, is that if it wasn't for a federal judge actually looking at the first plea deal that David Weiss put together when he wasn't a special counsel, by the way, that plea deal was a joke. They were going to hide all these tax charges under this gun charge, which, by the way, didn't even follow through with what it needed to do. They were going to hide the FARA violations under the gun charge. And so the only reason this is coming forward is because of House Republicans continuing this investigation. If Hunter Biden thinks he's going to run and hide now because his last name is Biden and his daddy is president, he's got another thing coming.
So there you go. That is Byron Donalds bringing the fire, and I think that he is absolutely right. We'll have to see what tomorrow brings when Hunter is supposed to testify behind closed doors answering that subpoena. If he doesn't, we'll have to see what the Republicans decide to do.